Hi everyone, I'm Vone Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for one-of-a-kind makers who dare to be original. And I'm joined with Murder Knits. Tabitha, how are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I'm so glad that you came and joined me. So I'm a little bit off because this is not Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because this is Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm a little thrown off. But this is the first time I've actually jumped on. Well, one of the few times I've actually had my live stream preset and ready to go. So we have like early chatters in the box before we even showed up. And I was like, oh,
Wow.
but, hey, Ellie, you still on? So I don't have to send you a DM. And so, and then Robin, hi, Robin. And that was me letting them know I'm coming, guys. So Ellie, you know Tabitha as well?
Well, I think she's in my knitting chat group. I shared it with them today that I was going to be on, and a couple of the ladies there said they were going to tune in.
Nice, nice. I don't know why your name is in red, Ellie. I don't know. But see, it's funny because I was accusing YouTube of not sharing these emojis, but it turns out when you actually watch the video, you can see the emoji. I just can't see them in my screen right now. So that happened to me last time because I said to Navies, I was like, I can't read your emoji. Your phone's too fancy. But, sending love from Seattle. Hey, Heidi. Heidi, I never knew that was your name. That's so funny. Heidi shares some really good stuff if you ever want to follow her, but you picked a good night to hang out with us, Heidi, because I got some interesting topics. I did not let Tabitha know these topics ahead of time when I invited her. So Ellie is from Sanko Farms. You guys got to go get some of her yarn. This Ellie Sanko Farms. You can follow her on Instagram. I watch it because she lives out my dream farm life. Hey guys, hey Therese, love you, Vone. Hey Tabitha, long time no see.
I was
Ooh,
I was just talking to Teresa.
yeah,
We were talking about music.
nice. I see highlighted names, so it's sure. I'm sure how to do that. I'm not sure how to do that. Oh, I have no idea what that's all about, but that's them having a good time in chats. So, what did I say we were going to talk about? We got some fun topics. So last Saturday, somebody had mentioned to me about Wall Street and GameStop. Did you hear anything about that?
A little bit, but I thought GameStop was just where you went and bought games.
It is. It
That's
is where
all I
you
know
went,
about.
like,
That's all I
right?
know about it.
So at some point, I would say not last week, maybe last week or the week before last week, their stock. So somebody had mentioned to me, and I heard about it, but I didn't touch on the topic because I'm not like 100%, so I didn't want to say anything on Saturday. But I'm all ready because I got caught up about it. Um, so I wanted to talk about a bit about it because it definitely lends into some crazy times right now. Hey, ladies, Murder Knits, Tabitha, looking forward to getting to know Vone. Oh, sweet. Look at Tabitha brought some friends. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Willie Cat. Funny how they don't like the little guys. So are you referring to GameStop? So in the stock market, Trump has always said, the stock market's rigged, and we always complain about the rich getting richer, and we never know why or how they do it. So in the stock market, what they do is they purposefully crash the system, crash it, so that they can bring the price down, so that they buy it cheap, and then so that they buy it cheap and then sell it out expensive, and that's how they keep recycling the money. And how they do it is they force companies to go to tank. They force them to tank to buy, so you can buy it cheap and then sell it expensive, right? And so they manipulate the market up and down, up and down. But so what happened was that they they crashed GameStop, and a few other companies, but they messed with the wrong group of people, is what happened. They messed with the wrong group of people who have been home and they figured out their system. So what they did was they were like, oh, they're gonna bring down the so that's what so all the people got together and they bought stocks. They bought stocks at what, say, let's say they bought it at $5. Okay. And now so they bought all the stock at $5, which basically rose the stock, made the stock for that rate GameStop. So all of a sudden $5 turned 800%. 800% it rose up. So now what happened, so now they basically locked out the billionaires. They lost those hedge funds. They lost, what did I hear, $320 billion, like billions of dollars they lost on these guys buying the stock and holding them out. Now what makes it controversial, right? So what made it controversial was the fact that Robinhood, which is a stock company where you buy and trade in, Robinhood, who is the folklore of, stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Well, they really kind of like showed their hands because they found this out. They forced everybody to stop and they wouldn't let anybody buy into the stock anymore because they knew that their rich friends were losing money.
Wow.
So they forced them out. So all they could do is, if you wanted to do anything, you have to sell your stock back down. You have to sell it. And if you manipulate the system where all you can do is sell, well, what that happens is it decreases the stock. So it forces them to go. So that's where, like, even Mark Cuban went on to Reddit and told them to hold your stock. Don't sell it, even though it's going down, even though they're forcing you to bring it down. Don't sell it, hold it. And you know what I mean? And hang on to it. And that's how, and keep them out, keep them losing money. And that's the rigged system of the stock market. And so what's interesting about that whole thing is how the media is in on it, where they're trying to make it seem like those nerds, those geeks, they're manipulating the system, and they're like, I think it's almost like a Trump Russian gate, you know what I mean? Like how they like are just flooding the system. I'm like, no, they're buying the stock exactly the way. That's what those billionaires have been doing all this time in the stock market. They just don't like it that regular people are now cashing in on that money.
Well, I read, since you told me last minute, I went and read some things, and a lot of the people that are buying stock are Bernie Sanders fans. They're
Really?
they're not even Trump fans. They just want to stick it to the man. They don't even care.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes it so intriguing right now during this crazy time, is because this is one, back in the day when the media was going after Trump, they had a general rule where everybody hates Trump. So the media loved going and attack him. Well, the media can't hide. This is how you know they're lying, because this is the one topic where nobody likes Wall Street.
Yeah.
You've got Republican senators and AOC going out, you know what I mean? And agreeing that what Wall Street is doing is horrific.
Yeah.
And it's totally cheating. And not only are they cheating, but they've cheated, but they don't like it when the regular folks cheat. They don't like it when they're playing that same game, and they don't like them making money. Now, what's interesting is, so when the hedge funds make money, what do? They build another, tennis court for their fifth home. But the people that are making the millions now in the stock market doing this, they're feeding their, one kid is buying games and giving them to cancer patients so that they had entertainment. Like, that's what they're doing the money. One guy, I think I heard that his father was in the construction company, and COVID hit his company so hard that his dad ended up no, not COVID, the original housing bubble, that stock market crash in 2008. He lost everything, and he turned into drinking, and his life was totally turned around, his dad's life. So for him to have the opportunity to do this now, and you know what I mean? Like, it was just almost like a revenge, you know what I mean? Or,
Yeah.
you know, to for his dad, for what they did to
Yeah.
his dad. You know what I mean? Like these are the stories that you're hearing about the normal folks making the money. And that's
Yeah.
why they don't want it, because they don't want, you know, the big wigs do not want the regular folks to have the money that they
Yeah.
have.
They don't want peasants to join this ape.
No, they don't want peasants to know how to play the game,
Yeah.
right? They don't, because during last year, while everybody was shut down and all the small businesses were closed, Walmart got expensive, Walmart got richer, Amazon got richer, all the big stocks got richer, richer, richer because they were
Yep.
all able to stay open. While your mom and pop shops, your grocery stores, your local grocery stores, your local children's clothing store, you know what I mean? They couldn't make anything. But Walmart, Target, all the big, they got to stay open
Mhm.
and they got to make the money.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting? And then so all their stocks rose and they made billions and billions of dollars last year
Mhm.
while everybody else suffered. While they
Yep.
forced everybody's businesses to suffer. It's pretty interesting. But the fact that the media is lying about it to the people, and they're still lying right now. Like even this morning, they're like saying, "Sell your stock. Nobody cares about it anymore." Well, I'm like, well, some dude just bought $1 million into his stock, so they care.
Yep.
And because everybody went like crazy over it, they had to. I think now they can buy it back because they had to basically they couldn't like lie anymore and pretend, you know what I mean? Because the game
Mhm.
was rigged, and now they've admitted that the game is rigged, and so they have to basically open the market back up so that you can buy and
Yep.
sell normally. Time to level the playing field. Exactly, Ellie. And they don't want the playing field leveled at all. Can you imagine the money Walmart, et cetera, not taking returns? Oh, absolutely. Walmart like made a killing last year. They made a killing while your local mom and pop shops couldn't open. And forget the restaurants, forget the business, forget any other ones. It's crazy. So that was the stock market. So now that I got to cover that topic, and the reason I was like, I thought it was important to share because it just goes to show you how media colludes with you know what I mean,
Mhm.
the hedge funds and all that stuff, and including politics. But this
Yep.
time they can't like hide it because now everybody hates Wall Street.
Yep.
So they couldn't, you know what I mean? Now they
Yep.
can't fake it. They can't
Yep.
fake it. Hey, lady, so glad you joined me. This is Tabitha from Murder Knits. She's on Saturdays, College Debt Circus. Um,
Ah.
so that was that. And what was the second one? Oh, and the reason why we can have you here, Tabitha, I finally learned what critical race theory was. I finally learned about it. And I was like, because every time people kept throwing those words out to me, I'm like, what is critical race theory? I could never get an answer.
Mhm.
And then finally somebody just shared with me, it is what's going on right now. And I'm like, what do you mean it is what's going on right now? It is, she's like, well, it is you waking up at 2 a.m. on your Instagram saying the knitting community is racist. I'm like, so that whole thing. So I was like, people's love for the race goggles and the fact that wearing our race goggles, having our addiction to our race goggles is what's going to solve humanity's problems right now. That's critical race theory. And she was like, yep, that's exactly what critical race theory is. I'm like, interesting. Now I know. So it's the fact that people love to wear their race goggles and thinking that, and then so with critical race theory came Black History Month, right? It's February is Black History Month. So someone shared a post where it said, uh, Black Pride, Black Pride is when is it when Black people are proud? They can be proud to be Black, and
Yep.
then Asian Pride is when Asians You know what I mean? Can proud to be Asian. And then what was the other one? Gay pride, when you're gay and you can be proud to be gay.
Yes, that was the other
But
one.
white pride, no, that's white supremacy and Nazism,
Yeah.
and very wrong. That's according to Wikipedia. So those three are okay, but white pride is not. That's bad. Okay. So of course my spidey sense, my bad math spidey sense goes ringing up the storm, Tabitha. It goes shooting up because bad math, something doesn't add up. Because it's when something is not true for everything, then it can't be true. Like then it shouldn't be true for anything. If it can't be true for everything, then it shouldn't be true for anything. That's what inequality is. And to have true equality, then you have when something is true for everything, then everything is true for everything, not just, not just one thing. So I was just like, so critical race theory would be that all those three things are good and the one thing is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting. And he takes on your critical race theory. Did I get that right? Do you know?
It makes sense. I don't know. It's just to me when people, throw those words out, it's just a bunch of virtue signaling because they say all these things and then you talk all you want, but what are your actions? All these
Mhm.
rich white women, if talking knitting community, say all these things of how you're supposed to act and stuff, and then they turn around and they drive their smart cars, which have batteries mined, with child labor in Africa by black children that are mining parts of their smart cars.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
drive a diesel.
Well,
That's not.
just yeah. Well, just about your with your interview with politically incorrect knitters that just aired last Saturday, which is why I wanted her eyes, which is why I like begged for her to come join me, guys, because that interview was awesome. It was awesome. I think I will leave a link to that interview uh, um, in the show description later on. I in the show description is Tabitha's YouTube channel, guys. Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Uh, so that's what you were saying about those women. So if for them to be like talking about how they're so high and mighty and how they protect and care for the black community, but then they're turning around and they're starting to attack those communities too.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Because if you don't agree with them, if you're not in lockstep with them, they're calling you whatever, and they didn't care what color you are after that.
No. Oh no. No. They've turned on. I've seen them turn on black women, Native American women. They've turned on gay men. I mean, they turn
They'll
on
turn,
everybody.
they'll turn on this Asian. They
Yeah.
turn on this Asian.
Well, Asians are white now, right?
Hey, wait a minute. So I thought Asians were white. I was celebrating for like a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months, like 2 months or so that I was celebrating because I was like, oh my God, we're white now and we're privileged. So we're not marginalized anymore. I was like, we finally upgraded. And then I just watched Biden. Give a speech about the who is it who was so disenfranchised last year during COVID that needs our help now are the Asians, the Polynesians, the Islanders, and we need because they have been systematically attacked last year, and they need, I believe those are Asians. And now he wants to start something. He wants to start a lot of things. Don't you wish DP could be joining us right now? Because Biden wants to start a lot of things.
You mean Harris wants to start a lot of things. Biden doesn't know what he's doing.
That's true. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. He just signed like what 37, 39 executive orders, and half of them he's like, I don't know what I'm signing.
Yeah.
Like the dude literally went on screen and was saying, I don't know what I'm signing
Yeah.
as he's signing all the executive orders. One of them is about what was it, a czar? Like he wanted to create something about oh, you know, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. What is white liberal guilt? White liberals who are pro baby murder and disproportionately murder black babies who are the very skin tone that they supposedly are trying to
Yeah.
help. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's
Planned
that's
Parenthood.
definitely my biggest spidey sense bad math that goes up like big time. Big time. There's a real talk. I've just been watching a lot of my social media feeds where a lot of Christian communities are really like starting to have this conversation about what's uh, being Christian and being okay with abortion, and how some people are okay with that. Like there's a lot of Christians that voted for the Biden Harris administration, which always fascinates me. You know,
I would say that those people are not Christian then, and I would probably get flack for that, but you cannot be Christian and pro abortion. There's no
no,
way. You
there's no
can't.
way. There's no way.
You shall
It's
not
like
commit murder. That is right
mhm,
there.
right there, right there. That's like my biggest beef. That is my biggest beef. That's generational genocide by the stroke of a magical pen. That magical pen is like they want to tell me that it trumps the tablet on for Moses. Like you want to tell me that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? A magical pen that says, "Oh, it's the law of the land says it's okay to murder our own." You know what I mean? Trumps over Moses' tablet. No, no. Planned Parenthood clinics are all over, predominantly minority communities. Absolutely. Of course they are. That's
Well,
what they were
wasn't
created
the
for.
wasn't the lady who created Planned Parenthood, wasn't she into eugenics and wanted to get rid of the black population? How are these people
Margaret
not
Sanger.
seeing this?
Margaret Sanger, yes, that she's, well, people are not seeing it because when they were voting for Hillary Clinton, Clinton got the Sanger Award, who, you know what I mean? I admire. I admire her for her tenacity and for her, bravery. I look up to Margaret Sanger. And then in the flip of it, you're like, oh, okay, the same lady that created Planned Parenthood to exterminate the Negro population. This
Mm-hmm.
is a quote. This is her
Yeah.
quote. We want to create Planned Parenthood to exterminate the Negro population.
Yep.
And then Hillary Clinton gets the Margaret Sanger Award, and yet Trump is the racist, sexist, you know what I mean? Bigot.
Yep.
But but that's it never fascinates me. Biden is a devout Catholic and can't get communion because of his abortion views. Really? I did not know that. I knew
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, he
I didn't
well,
know that he couldn't get communion because of that.
he's Easter service Catholic. He's not Catholic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Margaret Sanger, yes, my favorite human in the world. I can go on and on about this lady. I can go on and on about this lady. I'll link so far to this lady is whenever I talk about BLM, which BLM nominated to Nobel Prize,
Oh man.
Nobel Peace Prize. Did they win? They didn't announce it yet, right? They're still only nominated, which is very calculated because this is Black History Month. But
Yeah.
like the same organization, the same Marxist, racist, satanic, demonic organization, that same organization is the one that went up and down the streets burning buildings, burning our flags, burning businesses, destroying homes, killing people in their wrath all year long, They're nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
They're still rioting in my state with Antifa. BLM is still going on in Portland to this
Oh
day.
my gosh. You- I, I don't understand people.
Yeah.
I don't understand people.
Yeah.
I know so many Democrats who are Christian, and I don't understand or care that they vote for baby murders. Yeah, I don't understand it either. Margaret Sanger wanted to kill black babies before they were born, and black women fight for their right for abortion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that's Satan's best lie, isn't it? That's Satan's best lie. Nobel Peace Prize is the new. You just learned. I learned that on Saturday, so I'm somebody just a little behind me. We don't know if they won yet. They're just nominated. It's an honor just to be nominated. It's an honor just to be nominated, I suppose. Participation trophy. Yeah, what do they participate in? The burning of the flags and the burning of the buildings and the burning of, homes, destroying businesses, destroying livelihoods, killing, like actual murder on top. Sorry, the finger was too quick. Oh. I am Christian. I take issue with people who call themselves that. Uh, call themselves Christian and be pro-abortion. Yeah, I don't know who wouldn't. I don't know who wouldn't. It's crazy times. So another thing that I just caught too, right before I came on here, I saw a clip from like Rand Paul. He was in the Senate talking to Biden's next education guy, one of the top education people, and he was basically saying, because they were saying how uh, they were pro transgender students, so so the transgender boys can race and participate in the girl sports. And so Rand Paul was just like saying, so you're okay with uh, boys like 6'2" boys competing with 5'4" female in athletes, and that are totally taking away their scholarships, because when they can't enter and they can't win because they're dominated by male sports. Why, like, are you okay with that? And then where are all the feminists? Where are the feminist Nazis coming? Why aren't they coming out against this?
Well, it's not good to be a girl anymore. I just listened to a podcast. I'm Lutheran, and there's a podcast called Issues, etc. Anybody can listen to it, not just Lutherans. But they just cover, and they talk to all different types of Christianity. But they just covered this, was that it's not good enough to be, not saying it's okay to be lesbian, to be homosexual, but it's not good enough for, this whole time to be lesbian or or gay anymore. You have to now be trans. You have to now be this. So they're erasing all these things to make it worse. It's not good enough to be lesbian or gay anymore. You now have to be trans.
Like, so you basically transform yourself.
Yes.
And go further. You have to double down on your sin.
Yes. Yes.
Am I going to get stuck for that? You have to double down on your sin.
Yeah, because it's not that. I don't know if you could say SJWs, but these people, that are in this whole world, want people to take that step further. It's not good enough to be a girl. You have to be a boy. It's not good enough. You have to do this. It's just this huge, it's like this sin is expanding and getting bigger, and then it just snowballs. Anyways, it's a really good, I can't explain it as good as they did, but it was a really good podcast. I'll share it with you, Vaughn, so you can listen to it. But it was a really good episode explaining what they're doing and how they're trying to transform the world that we're living in to suit their agenda.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense, because
they're erasing girls.
He's just, well, that's why they were just making us like little amoebas. Like you can't use pronouns, and you can't be. It's not good enough. You can't be a girl or a boy and taking your, your surnames and your, you can't say he or she anymore. And there's like 50 different sexes in doctors' forms now, you know, that you
It's
have to
not good
pick.
enough to just be a girl. You need to transform and be something you're not. You have to check that check mark. And the more boxes you check, the better you are.
Well, Satan loves confusion, so
Yeah.
that's what all that is he loves confusion. He
Yeah.
loves to lie, cheat, and steal, and your identity is definitely one that he'll attack
Yeah.
for sure. Hit send to certain people who call themselves Christian but don't act the way and don't vote that way. Exactly, exactly. And the feminists are nowhere to be found, and they have to be conflicted, or at least the older feminists.
Oh no, they're
Um,
TERFs now. Because J.K. Rowling got attacked, and she's a feminist. And so now they just call them all TERFs.
Why was she getting attacked? I thought I saw something about her
Because
not being part of Harry Potter, or they didn't want her
a,
a part of it.
a trans a man who identified, I believe, I don't know the full story, so I could be wrong, but what I got was that a man who identified as a woman took a woman's job, and J.K. Rowling tweeted that she was favor of this woman keeping her job.
Mm-hmm.
That's the gist of it. And so her, because she wanted to pick a woman over a trans woman who's really a man,
This is
they tried to
see,
cancel
this is
her.
the problem. Yeah, this is the problem where, and I guess as a common sense enthusiast, I would just be like, why aren't we favoring to whoever is better suited for the job?
So they picked the man.
That's what
Really, they
happens.
picked the
That's the
man over a
problem.
woman.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and vice versa. Like the thing goes back and forth, vice versa, because they don't care about who is better. It doesn't matter what sex you are if you're better suited for the job. Now we create jobs for whatever. So I have a thing here because our health advisor, our health expert is Mr. Levine. Yeah, Tabitha's like, no, don't go there, don't go there. Mr. Ricky Levine is our health expert, Pennsylvania's health expert, and he uh, is now nominated for. Did he get appointed?
I think he got appointed.
Oh, Tabitha thinks he got appointed. She thinks it's official. He's official. You know, he's officially on there. So he's going to come and tell me. He's been telling me all of last year. You know how what's healthy for my body with COVID and all. All meanwhile, he doesn't know what he is, how God made him. So
He had there's some scary mental health issues going on that's being celebrated.
uh-huh. There you go. There's some scary mental health issues that's telling me how to manage my health.
Yeah. Well, and
They're the experts that are telling me that they're going to manage my health,
the
which is
suicide rates for people who have transitioned who regret it are ridiculously high.
I
And they don't
I,
want to talk about that.
I can't imagine. I can't
It's a
imagine
mental health
because
issue.
you are subverting, you are changing the way God made you. Like you are changing the way God made you. You are literally picking a fight with God when you do that, and you armed yourself with obviously the enemy who has lied to you. You can obviously see that. It's just crazy. It's crazy that I can't wrap my head around it. I think that's why I can't tiptoe around it anymore either. Because I just feel like it's, dude, hey, when all of last year and Mr. Levine was all over my screen every single day trying to tell me how to take care of my body during this pandemic. Meanwhile, I'm looking at him going, what the heck am I looking at here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what am I looking at here? And I'm supposed to take advice from him?
Yeah.
And I'm the crazy? I'm the crazy. But it's funny because that's what Rand Paul was saying. He's like, so you're in favor of boys racing in girls races, like you're in favor of boys beating like girls, because the statistics of men running faster than women are like astronomical. They're gonna beat them 75 to 1, you know what I mean? And so if you allowed that into, that's why they have girl sports and boy sports. Otherwise, girls would have been competing in boy sports long time ago, and vice versa. There's a reason why they don't, so that they can split the competitiveness between. So now when you enter the boys and beating and dominating in the girl sports, that's taking away girl scholarships, girl like funded opportunities that they would have had they been able to given a chance on a equal playing field. You know what I mean? That was the point of the start of it. And now we're just going to subvert all that and then give it to the males. And then what? Somehow go back and blame the males for being bad again and just have a pendulum back and forth. Women are evil, men are evil, women are evil, men are evil.
Yep.
You know, because that's how Satan wins. That's how Satan wins. He loves to divide and conquer. He will split the sexes. He will split the ages. He will split the races. He will split everything. You know what I mean? It's because as long as we stay split, then we can't unite. And that's the one thing he doesn't want us uniting.
Yep.
Transgender males are males that couldn't hang with men, so they go after the females. Yeah. There's the mental health. I don't care if you're trans, start your own club. Well, there you go. Start your own club, start your own sports, right? That
Yeah.
honestly, that might be where we land next. You know,
Yeah. Well, it's been
men,
an issue.
women,
They've
and the
wanted to
maybes.
suggest that have a trans club, like a trans running. If you're trans, you run with these people. If you're, and they said no, it's not fair. Well, how is you taking over the girls' race fair?
Well, I think it's perfectly fair. I mean, we have Special Olympics. I would say, maybe Olympics. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you like, it's just there's more section, there's more splitting up again, you know. But I definitely want to. I definitely want to know where the feminists are on this, and the feminists who are supposedly pro women. Yeah, they're crickets. Well, it's very tough to pick a side these days. You know, it's very tough to pick a side. Maybe they should worry about the trans suicide rate before what job they get. Yeah, I honestly believe that. What really sickens me is how they're going after the youth about it.
Mm-hmm.
How like that if like a mom can change the sex of a 6-year-old, which was the
Mm-hmm.
case in California.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like what the flip?
I think she was doing
That
it
is
to get back at the dad.
yeah,
You know.
criminal, of course. And it was so obvious, like, watching that case that she was doing it to get back at the dad. And you know what I mean? And I'm like, you're gonna punish your kid. This is why Tabitha, I always go back. This is why I always go back to when we don't value life at every stage, we're always gonna struggle to value life at any stage because we see this kind of evil. What kind of a mother do you have to be to punish your child and flip his sex and not care about the repercussions of his future later on?
It's evil. It's evil.
It's so evil. It's so evil. You know what I mean? Like you just don't care. I am an age where I don't care about the labels and the boxes. I say what I know, and when I get attacked, I fight back. It's nothing to me anymore. I'm just a common sense enthusiast, so I like to when like I said, I like good math. I like it when 1 + 1 = 2. When somebody tells me 1 + 1 = 5, then I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, I'm Asian, guys. I know what bad math is. That does not sound good. For all the race goggles lovers, you know what I mean? I got to make sure that they fine tune their race goggles and make sure if they didn't see that I was Asian, I like to throw it in there. Levine killed people in nursing homes after taking his mother out. Yes. Yeah. True story. True story on that. Oh, and I'll send you a link about the Illinois trying to pass for schools, and they want to make it national. Yeah, is that what Rand Paul was talking about in the Senate, because he was like, this is actually you guys gotta find that clip. It's on YouTube. But he literally, it's on YouTube in the Blaze channel, I think, where he's like, what planet are you from that you think you're okay? Like, what planet are you from that you're okay with men competing in women's sports and thinking it's okay? Like, what planet do you have to be from to be okay with this? Because he's like, I don't want my 5'4" niece in college competing against a 6'2", you know what I mean, in sports, and having him dominate her, and then make it national and make this national. It's crazy.
Yep.
The worst male will annihilate the best female. Absolutely, they would. They would crush them. That's why women aren't men. That's why women are supposed to be men and men are supposed to be women. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
Suicide rates are skyrocketing in 2020 and 2021, all ages and genders. Yeah, it's absolutely pure evil. It's absolutely pure evil. Boy, we came running, didn't we? This is what Tabitha's like. Next time I'm joining her on the Saturday mornings. Saturday morning, she like prays. She's so PC. Am I even PC though on Saturday mornings? I feel like I'm not anymore. What was did I cover all the topics that I thought I was going to cover?
I thought you want to talk about the Stop the Steel Hats.
Oh, yes. That's why I was like, there's one more. I can't think. I let Rand Paul. So my beautiful Galilee life, is the platform that I sell my VK Dare to Be Original scarves in and my patterns in. And I left Etsy a long time ago to pursue all in on Galilee because they were a Christian marketplace. And I absolutely love Navy's, who is the founder of it. So I heard her message and I went all in on that. And did you hear that, Tabitha? Tabitha says yes. Are you going to blame the twins, Bunny? Oh, it was Indy. It was Independence. Sorry, it wasn't the twins. It wasn't the twins, Tabitha. It was Independence. 2 teachers with more than 2 genders will be forced to take kids to anti-gun rallies. Whoa, let's back this up. Can we even, do we want to touch, we can even touch on that, because
well, my kids don't go to public school, so I'm probably not the person to talk to.
Your kids don't go?
I have my middle child is in private school. My oldest is in like a charter school, but it's like half home, half at school. But yeah, I don't do the public school system.
I don't blame you. I didn't go to public school either. Woke teachers, more than 2 genders, will be forced to take kids to anti-gun rallies, etc. Some needs to learn the meaning of competition. Yeah. Okay, so I want to get caught up. So here I am, Galilee Life, right? We just found out that somebody had just declined on being a part of the platform, of joining our platform. We're running a campaign where you get to sell for, if you sign up by the end of March. We're running a campaign because of how hard COVID was, that they're letting you sell for a full year, and the offer is up on March 31st. So we're running a massive campaign to try to see if anybody wants to join us and sell on Galilee Life, while somebody had politely declined this week because they saw that DP sells Stop the Steal hats on the platform. So I was like, wait a minute. So a vendor, that is what Illinois is proposing, and worse. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely send me that link, Ellie. So what the vendor politely declined by saying, no, I don't want to sell on your platform because you have the Stop the Steal hats on your platform. And I was like, you're a vendor and you don't want to sell on a platform because the platform has one item being sold on there?
Is she on Etsy? Just curious, is she selling
Yeah,
on Etsy?
she would have to be
There's a
selling on Etsy.
there's a million things worse on Etsy.
That's that's my point.
I'm
That's
not
my
saying the Stop the Steal hat's bad because it's not, but there are a million different things on Etsy.
yes, isn't that the point? Hey Nancy. And I was like, so you mean to tell me like an actual vendor like is going to like to deny a year free of selling on a platform, an opportunity to sell on a platform for a year for free because of one item being sold on there that she didn't agree with.
I
One
wonder if
item
she
being
thought she would get Galilee to sway her way, though.
oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they think, because the people that are like cray cray like that, I mean, you got to march with them, or they
Mm-hmm.
it just fascinates me. It's just like you've got to be, I don't know what to. That's like me saying I don't agree with one item on Walmart, so I'm not gonna go shop there. I don't agree with one item on Amazon, so I will not sell or buy from there. I don't agree with one item from Etsy, and I will not sell or buy from them. And all of those sell porn.
Yeah. Yep.
All of them, all those platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? People are nuts. And I actually congratulated DP on that because I was like, congratulations. I didn't know you had that kind of power. Like I knew
She's
she was
famous.
powerful. Yeah, I knew she was powerful, but I didn't know she had that kind of power. You know what I mean? Because that's some serious power. That's some serious clout that I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This person is on this platform, forget it. Do you know what I mean? Like on a worldwide platform, forget it. Like no way. That it fascinates me. So I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
We could say we knew her before that happened, so we knew her before she was famous.
Yeah, I knew her before she had that power. Well, I said to her, I was like, because you have this power with great power comes great responsibility. So I hope she doesn't misuse it. And she did say, well, can I have a little fun with the power? Can I do a little bad with it? So maybe a little bad, but you got to balance it out with a lot of good
Yep.
if you're going to do a little bad, right?
Yep.
What's everyone's IG handle? You guys can add that into the chat so Ellie can go follow. And Ellie is Senko Farms. So go check out her babies. Ellie, did you decide what to name to your twins? Are you naming them Eddie and Bobby? Like my twins? Her sheep just had twins.
Oh.
And so she's looking for names on Instagram. And naturally, because I knew two twins, I thought, maybe if we can get, beagles to be twins and pair them up with the sheep, maybe they can come and hang out on their Instagram feed. Speaking of, so it snowed insane, 18 inches.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you guys get any snow? I don't think you would, right?
So maybe once a year if we're lucky. I live right. I can see the water from where I live. I can see the bay where I live. So it very rarely do we get snow. It'll
Oh,
snow in the
really?
mountains, but not on the coast.
Oh, okay. I always thought that you guys, because you guys were so close to Canada, that you've got to be, that you're way higher than us. You've got to get more snow than us. But
I'm closer to
somebody else.
California, not Canada.
Oh, really? Is that okay? That makes sense too. I'm careful where I spend my money because I won't support people who declare me a Nazi, but otherwise I support small businesses. Yes, I get that I get that she has a problem with a vendor, but to have a problem with a platform because of one item that a vendor is selling, that is such a micromanaging move that I can't like wrap my head around that. You know what I mean? That's the part that I'm like, really? You know,
She
I get
she
that you
probably
want
was
no.
hoping that Galilee would go her way and kick DK off.
Oh, so she thought that because she's like oh, you want us to not sell the Stop of the Steel hat, so that you would sell on our platform? Like
Yeah,
she thought
that
that they
probably
were, she thought she would have that kind of power.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's funny. No, that is even funnier. That's even funnier because now that's me going to like Etsy and going, hey, I'm sorry. See that? See that?
Hmm.
That pro choice. See that pro killing shirt that you're selling? You know what I mean? That you let one vendor sell on Etsy. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't like baby
Yeah,
murderers, so I'm not going to sell on your platform.
yeah.
And then not only that, but me thinking Etsy is going to be like, oh, okay, we'll stop the item. Will you come and sell on our
Well,
platform now?
but that's usually what happens is somebody complains, and then
Mhm.
so they don't face a backlash, they go along with the mob, whether it's warranted or not.
Only if it meets their agenda.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we can complain about all the things. Like I can complain all I want about, shirts that say F Jesus on Etsy. I can complain all I want, but they're not going to stop it.
Hmm.
They're just not. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's only when it suits them.
Hmm.
So let me see. Follow. These are the followers. I'm Cat Hugh. Oh, look at that. You guys go and check out these. So that was. So do we cover everything? Wow. I can't believe it's been an hour. Tabitha, why don't you tell everybody what your channel's all about? since you
Oh,
since you came on here and let me talk about all the crazy that I had to deal with midweek.
I talk about murder, so I don't.
What was so funny? I was like, Tabitha, I was like, when they said, "Oh, murder knits," I'm like, "Yeah, I think she talks about murder stories and knitting while she knits." And I was like, and she's like, "Fiction or not fiction?" I was like, it's got to be fiction because who talk about real murders?"
No,
And then somebody's like,
it's
"Oh, I follow
nonfiction.
her." Somebody mentioned in the chat, I was like, "I follow her," and she talks about real murders,
Yeah. Nope, I talk about true crime and I knit. That's it.
real true crimes.
Yes.
Anything famous now?
Tiger King, which you still need to watch.
No, I have no idea what that is. Clearly, she'll talk. I follow her, so and I like her stuff. And then she'll mention these people, and then and between DP, who's so political, and Tabitha, who's got all these character names, and because I couldn't tell because up until Saturday I didn't even know if it was fiction or nonfiction. So all these people that she was talking about, I thought they were like characters in her story that she happened to be reading this week. And so she's like, so, and between that, but I don't know if it was one of those characters or if it was a politician that she's talking about because of the election and everything. So half the time, I don't know any of these names between DP and her coming on. So I'm always like, who? Who's that?
Well,
And then she'll,
you probably know the Watts case. That was pretty famous.
I
Chris
have no
Watts.
idea what it is. No.
Oh.
What else she got? What
Well,
else she got?
I'm going to cover the Susan Powell case.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. What else she got?
That's it.
Ah, so funny. True crime is amazing. Well, there you go. And that's why you guys are friends. So I must be tired tonight. I'm Willie Cat. Tiger King was the bomb. Okay.
I'm going to cover the Keepers, which was the Catholic abuse scandal. Um, the
Mm.
the Keogh Seton High School. It was the sister Kathy Sesnick. She was murdered. Um, there's a couple things about that I want to talk about, and my religion is close to Catholicism, and so I know a lot more about that than some other people who have made podcasts and got it kind of wrong. And so I wanted to get my unwanted opinion on it because they want to blame the Catholic Church, and it's not where the blame is. So
Oh, interesting. You might have intrigued me. Like, she might have I think she just hooked me. I think she just cast that line. No, did I cast my own line and now I might bite? Sent you a request. Okay. We're
Yeah,
still
Teresa and I have been talking about the keepers because she knows a lot too.
interesting. That is indie. That is real indie. Not fake indie from earlier. That's real indie. Uh, so, and the other thing is somebody had mentioned to you, I didn't realize when I was listening to your story with politically incorrect knitters, I didn't realize that you were so into in the middle of all that critical race theory back in
Yeah,
what, 2 years ago? Was
that
it
was
the
about two,
original
like a year to 2 years ago is
with
when
that
I
blog?
joined the group, and then by because I stayed with the group with the first big blow up with Maria, and then when it got really bad is when I left and they turned their backs on me. But yeah, no, I was naive and new to the knitting community, and I thought that other people were like that. And I live in a really small rural area, and there aren't a lot of knitters, so I just kind of took them as face value.
And were they people like just online or you actually knew them in person?
Oh no, well, they were online. I've never met them in person, but we got really close.
Right. Like you
Yeah.
talked and you guys,
Oh yeah.
off of off of just social media
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
texting and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yep.
And so did was Maria the big offender because she basically said that blog was hogwash?
Yeah.
Was that what
Well,
happened?
I really don't know why they attacked her. And when they were talking about it, when I was in the group, they didn't have really good reasons why. So Maria, she didn't really even come to Karen's defense, because Karen wrote that blog about going to India.
Mhm.
And she just said, "You guys, I don't want to be a part of this bullying. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going to leave Instagram. I'm going to leave social media and take a break because I don't like what's going on with people bullying each other over this." That was all
Mhm.
Maria did. She didn't say that she agreed with it or that she disagreed. She just said, "I don't want to be a part of it." And because she said that, they said, "Well, that's your right white privilege to leave a platform, because we all could leave the platform," which is what I think should probably happen because I think social media is awful sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that because she's leaving the platform, it's her white privilege, and that BIPOC people don't get that privilege. Therefore, white privilege is you're a white supremacist and you're a Nazi. And
Wait,
then
Black people can't leave the
they
platform?
can't leave. Yeah, they can't leave social media. They don't have that privilege to leave to click the close button on Instagram, which is actually really racist to say that black people aren't smart enough to
Yeah,
handle themselves without social media is really what it is. That's
it's
really
absolutely what it is.
racist
It's very racist.
to
It's
that you
a
think
very
that low of them.
it's a very that's the part that I can't that's honestly that's the part that I can't figure out about that whole critical race theory about like the fact that you are uh marginalized and the fact that we revere it and that we celebrate being marginalized and the fact that we're like toting it up on a pedestal and wearing as a badge of honor, like I am a marginalized human being, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
what, and I celebrate it, like who in their right mind would celebrate somebody looking down on you, and so to the point where you now look down on yourself.
Yeah. I have
It's
a friend who's black and has black children, and she says, "I cannot my black children are being taught that they are lesser than." She goes,
mm-hmm,
"How is that not right? My children are not lesser than. My children are
Exactly.
equal. They are not.
That is exactly what critical race theory is. That is exactly what wearing race goggles is all about. Like why because you put it on, you want to like they and we're teaching our children. I think everything that we're doing as adults, like everything that we're doing so stupidly as adults, it makes me so mad that we are pushing it on our children. It makes me so mad when I think about it. Like everything like we do, like I hate the whole, you know what I mean, nonsense of what this fake pandemic is doing because it's literally the flu, because the flu is no longer the flu anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hate that whole lie. And the fact that we're teaching our children to be scared, the fact that we're teaching our children to wear this thing that, you know what I mean? If we didn't know, if only we had a sign, if only we had a sign that told us that we were being controlled and muted, I wonder what that sign would have been. And not only in fear, and not only are we doing that, but we're teaching it to our children, making them wear masks, making them walk around like they're little dogs getting wearing muzzles. It it makes me so mad. And then to now teach, we've gotten so far. We had a black president, a two-term, duly elected black president. You know what I mean? For how many years? And now we're back to the point where we're back where your friend's children are getting taught that they are less than and that they have to have special favors and they need to be, you know what I mean? It You just have to tell a child one time where you will do irreparable damage. You just have to do one. You know how like you tell a child one thing, you can yell at them by mistake, you're in a bad day. They remember that.
Yeah.
And then they take it with them. So what is a line like that getting taught? But not only once, but a whole course about it now. Just like how they're teaching your children about trans and all that stuff and our beautiful $600 stimulus that got passed. And now we're sending millions of dollars to Africa to teach those children how to be trans and all that, you know what I mean? Because we love to spread the wealth of our ignorance and our shameful, you know what I mean, evil. Because, you know, America doesn't like to spoil on our own, right? We love to spread our evil with everyone else. It just makes me so mad. That makes me really mad, Tabitha.
Yep.
I think that's why I get so mad when I think about how everybody just loves wearing their race goggles, and I'm just always like, why would we want to go backwards? We went through all this time where 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 blacks can eat at white restaurants, and now we were going like in 2023. I don't even know if it's going to actually be this fast because it's already happening right now, you know, like black music, black this, black that, black restaurants, black this, black that, and then all of a sudden we're back to segregation.
Yep.
But this time, but this time they conditioned them to walk back in to the cage. They've conditioned them to walk back in. And I'm like, wait a minute. So the Democrats were the ones that were against it, right? They were the ones that were against uh, abolishing slavery. They were the ones that were against all that.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they flipped the script to make it that they're for all the black people. And yet now they spent what, 10, 20, 30? What is the math when slavery happened to what we are now? Because now we're back to the blacks going, I want my own restaurant, I want my own music, I want my own television show, I want my own this, I want my own that, and you can't belong, and you don't belong, and now you chose it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what? We just spent all this time trying to unite because we're all human beings. We're all one
Mm-hmm.
because we all have two arms, two legs, a brain, and a heart.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wonder where the brains and the hearts are anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy. And they're walking right into it. They're walking right into it. Now, how do I get on? How can I come on? I was already so dumb and stupid, even though Asians are ridiculously smart. I was already so dumb and stupid when they were telling me that I didn't know what BLM was all about. That I don't know. I didn't know what, that's because you don't understand the plight of the blacks and Black Lives Matter. And I said, I know that racist Marxist organization that is set to destroy the nuclear family, the father, the mother, the child. That is their goal. They said, we want to break up the nuclear family. We are a Marxist organization. We are a Marxist organization, and the first thing we will do is remove God. We have to remove God in the formula so that you can't pick a higher being than yourself, so that when you don't have your higher being, you have to follow the leader who is the one. When you remove God, the man with the biggest stick rules. When you remove God, the man with the biggest stick rules. And you know who has the biggest stick right now? Your government, your kings, your leaders. So why is it that the government would want to remove God? Why is it the Communist Party wants to remove God? That's the first thing they always do, remove God. Why? Because when you remove God, the man with the biggest stick rules, period. But if you have God, then guess where our rights come from? Not from the biggest stick. No, they come from God.
But I have to
Right?
share a funny story on BLM because where we live, I had to explain to my husband what BLM was because where we live, it's Bureau of Land Management.
Is what?
Bureau of Land Management. And we don't like the BLM where we're from. And so my husband's like, why are these people upset?
That's actually funny. That's actually funny. There's a I can't even I don't even that's actually funny. Now that you say that, I can go really conspiracy theory and go really into the deep state about Bureau of Land Management and what BLM is. And if you look at all the lands and the riots and what parts got, what areas got decimated through the BLM uh, destruction, it all coincides with your globalist banks. So it's not really, if you actually look at all the territories and you watch the map of all that and how they're just, it's actually not coincidental that BLM attacked those very states, those very streets. It's land acquisition to protect the global banks. Coincidence? Nobody really looks at those things, though. Nobody really looks at those things. So when you say Bureau of Land Management, that kind of, and BLM, I'm like, oh, maybe they're not so different. Maybe they're not so different. Tabitha, maybe your husband was actually onto something there. We need to have girls' night more often. Ellie, I don't know if I can stay on topic like this. These things make my blood boil. I can't stand stupidity. I I learned that this year too. I learned that the year of COVID with BLM and all that stuff. Actually, it was BLM. It was BLM attacking Rand Paul and his wife over that case where they were like shouting where the cops were going into her name. Is it Taylor? Is it the Taylor bill? Breonna Taylor, that whole thing when that so they were attacking Rand Paul in the streets. BLM was attacking Rand Paul in the streets and making him say her name when he was the one that proposed the bill that to stop cops from going automatically in there
and the no-knock warrants.
Right, no knock warrant, right? So the very thing that they want, right? The very law rule that they want to prevent what would have happened to her. He's the one that proposed it. And because they're so stupid with their race goggles, they're so blinded by their race goggles. They saw a white man, thinking that, they didn't care to bother what he actually did, what his merits were. And I'm like, that was what infuriated me. When I saw that video, that's when I just realized, I was like, okay, my biggest pet peeve is stupidity, and I can't stand stupidity. And that's what I feel like we're at now. We're so stupid. We're so stupid. Yeah. Just what I just finished saying about how we are separating. We have a united world where now we want to separate by the races, and the black people want to have this black, and we're going to segregate. We're going back to segregation. But this time they volunteered it. They want it. They're fighting for it. Stupidity. It's pure stupidity, and they got tricked into it. It fascinates me, and then it makes my blood boil. No child is less than any other child. Exactly. Because we're all equal in the eyes of God. All equal in the eyes of God. And yes, it is a muzzle. Exactly. We had 2-term black president. Is there a higher office? No, sadly, his evil wife, my personal opinion, was in charge of his house, and he divided this country. Yeah, I believe it. I live in Detroit. I know what blacks do here. Statistic facts do not lie. Republicans free the slaves, freeze blacks, Republicans. Government came in with welfare. Yes. Women married to the government, and men didn't have any responsibility. Kids with no fathers. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Brandon Tatum. I don't know who that is, or do I know who that is? Larry Elders. The news makes my blood boil. Yeah, I think it makes all of our blood boil. Except for the stock market. Then the normal guys won. The geeks won the day there. They messed with the wrong people. They did. They messed with the wrong people because they forced them out of their jobs. They forced them out of, they couldn't go anywhere. They can't go out. They can't socialize. So what do computer geeks do who play games all day?
You know what I mean? And then they're poor. So at the end of the day, they're still going to be poor. They don't care. They don't care if they lose them, Yeah. It's not going to affect them.
Well, not only that, but don't forget the government gave them all that money all of last year. If you weren't working, you were collecting, and you were making more. You were making triple what you would have made had you gone to work.
Yep.
Free money. But I hope you guys saved enough for tax season, because now Big Brother's collecting it all back. You're now in a different tax bracket. They didn't tell you that when they were giving it to you. So you got to spend it. You played around with it. So I hope you were saving up, because they want their money. They're going to want that money back. Nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. So anybody that tells you it's free, they're lying, or they want something from you. That should go into your murder mystery. So that should be one of the rules. That should be one of the rules.
It's always the husband, and nothing is free.
It's always the husband. That seems to be that's the general consensus. Yep, it's always the husband, nothing is free. Really, I would have thought the women were the big murderers, or the ones, or the women's the one that get away with it.
The women get away with it a lot more, especially if they're pretty.
Because they're pretty. Unless you're Mr. Levine, then you're not so pretty. You girls make me happy, as I know I'm not alone in this crazy world. Oh no, you are not alone. You're not being publicized, is what it is, because we're being censored like a mad mother. I'm about to get censored. If you're not a part of my email list, please sign up, because one day I will drop off the face of social media. It will not be on my doing. If I go, it is not because I chose it. The life that I lived, this public life that I am on, has been God's choice and not mine. So it's not me to leave unless the big wig techs take me out, because they don't like truth. even though their fact checkers love to check for facts, but they don't like truth. The news is unwatchable. Oh, it's absolutely unwatchable because it's just it narrates the story that they want to tell you. It was a no-knock warrant, but they knocked. Oh, they did knock. I'm not surprised.
know that.
If they did. I feel like they did. I feel like there was a lot that was, there was a lot that came out after, but the media won't share it now.
Yeah.
You only heard about it when it was no knocking, when nobody knew the facts. That's what they do. That's what the media does. They lie to you. So they give you this parts that they want you to hear. You know what I mean? Like the guy that started this whole movement to begin with this year, because they saw that what happened to him with the cop, that's horrific. Nobody should be in that position. But when they found out what drugs he was taking, what caused his heart to stop, no, they're not going to cover that. They're not going to cover that what killed him was probably not the choking after all. It was the drugs that he was on that stopped his heart.
Well, that and America's government likes to supply the black community with welfare, and what can you buy on welfare? Processed food that gives you heart disease.
Amen. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's absolutely poison. Monsanto, GMO, all that fun stuff. All that fun stuff. That came from Big Brother.
Yep.
All from Big Brother. My state shut it all down and it's still not back. I got some unemployment but didn't get what I should have, and I still fight. Businesses hiring part-time in the state is still crippling them. Oh yeah. Yeah, they want to shut down the economy. It's crystal clear to me what it is. It has nothing to do with a health pandemic. You can't talk to me about a health pandemic when 720 million babies were aborted in 2020 worldwide. 720 million babies were aborted worldwide in 2020. I don't know. Whatever judgment we have upon us, we chose it on ourselves. Like we are here because this is what we did by the stroke of a magical pen, guys. By the stroke of a magical pen. This is what happens. He overdosed just like Freddie Gray, who was not killed by the Baltimore cop. He did it himself. Exactly. But see, the media will cover that now because when they don't like the facts, then they don't, then they won't share it. And then what people are left with is what they saw, what they last saw from the media. That's why you don't trust them. Just like right now, they're lying to your face when they're telling you that the snack market was a criminal thing when and all these people are like Russian robots now.
Yeah.
Hey, your Russian robots might have worked back in when Trump was in office, but it doesn't work now, and it didn't even work back then, but it definitely doesn't work now because you can't use the same lie twice, idiots.
Well, if Russia would have, if Russia was in on the election, Hillary would have won because her and Russia are BFFs.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Do you comprehend abortion numbers? How do you comprehend the abortion number? God lets us sleep at night. How do you comprehend the abortion numbers? God lets us sleep at night. I don't comprehend. That's why I'm here. That's why I live a public life like this. If I didn't have to deal with the nonsense of how crazy the world is, I would be sitting in my own little house and completely shutting off this black box and be like, you know what? To heck with all of you idiots. That's what I would be like to the world. I would be like, to heck with all of you idiots, right? Because we're doing it to ourselves. But the only reason why I am online and getting like whatever enemies coming at me as I do is because of the voiceless, is because of the life that gets executed by their own mother and by a nation that says it's okay to do so because it's the law of the land, because we have a magical pen that says it's okay, because mothers are the only ones that actually could murder their own, but everybody else it's murder. There was somebody that shared a, I saw something, I saw a post where it said when you miscarry, it's a tragedy, right? When you miscarry, it's a tragedy because you lost your baby. You lost your baby, and it's tragic. But when you abort out of convenience, that's what it is. You've done no. But when you abort, that's actual like murder. That's more tragic. That is like unfathomable evil.
Yep.
You know, but they don't recognize the two. Like they don't see it as the same. Which
Well, one
fascinates
is wanted
me.
and one is not. That's how they justify it. If it's wanted, the baby's wanted, it's sad. If it's not wanted, then
Then
just
it's
do
the
away
right.
with it.
Then it's your
Yeah.
right. Yeah. My body, my right. Yeah. That's the crazy. I mean, God is so good, and we can live with those numbers. You mean that God is so good that we can live with those numbers? Yeah, God is so good. I live with those numbers
I think she means that
because
God. Why isn't God's wrath coming down on us?
because he's so good. Yeah, because there are
Because
people
he's
like us that are still saying, "Hey, I'm not a part of this nonsense." That's why. That's why God. But that's why he hasn't completely finished us off. But I'll tell you when he will is when people like us live in fear and don't say anything. Is like people like us who know it's wrong and allow it. You know what I mean? It's bad enough that those people know that it's wrong and don't care. We know that it's wrong, but we can't allow it. When we allow it, when we don't do whatever we can to stop it, to fight against it, to say whatever, like my only I was just complaining. Oh, it's Fight Club over there. That's the twins. They are best friends and they are each other's worst enemies. You have children, right? You
yes,
know.
yes.
Now they're doing like a Mexican standoff right now. I don't know. And that's Indy crying, going, "You guys love each other. You don't need to fight." That's the big brother. God is so good. He has given us the strength to be able to live with the numbers. Yes. Yes. I I live with the numbers because I promised him that I would do whatever I can to speak for the voiceless. That's what I do. Now, I wouldn't live with the numbers if I kept my mouth quiet. That's like what happened with Ravelry. That was what happened. That was my week of Ravelry.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw my Ravelry story, but that was when uh, when Ravelry called me a white supremacist for voting for Trump.
Oh, I think I did. I've
And
heard
that's
so
why,
many people's story with Ravelry, so it'll get.
well, that was mine. That was my test. That was my test from God. I like that was my true test was when I that week when Ravelry when I Sunday morning I opened my Instagram. You know, Instagram loves to give me my news. I tell you, first they tell me that my knitting community is racist, and then they tell me that I'm a white supremacist,
Yeah.
and and I could have not said anything and I could have like because everybody on all my feeds, everybody, I stand with Ravelry. I stand against hate. I stand against bigotry. I stand against white supremacy. I stand against racism. I stand against all that. And I'm like, well, I stand against all that. I hate stupid people. Remember, I hate stupid people. I'm a common sense enthusiast and I hate stupid people. All those people are idiots. They're stupid. I stand against them. So then they're calling me that. And I'm like, why? Because I voted for a president that was pro-life, and I didn't want to go meet my maker and said, what did you do? What did you do for my most innocent when I go meet him? And I'm going to say, I was scared, so I said nothing. That was my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear. So I had to make that scary video. I had to make that scary video. It was the hardest. It was the hardest week of my life to come out against 1,000 followers on Instagram, to come out against my 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, to come out against my 1,000 Facebook group, to say, yeah, I know you guys all stand with Ravelry, but I stand with God, and he doesn't want us murdering our children. And so I made one vote, and now you're calling me a white supremacist, and that's not right. And so by me making that video, that was when I pretty much knew that I wasn't looking back after that. And that was all that video was about. Was how evil Margaret Sanger was. We have to hit rock bottom. We can value no life, no matter the color, until we value the unborn. That's what I've been saying. If we don't value life at every stage, we're always going to struggle to value life at any stage. We as a human race will always struggle to value life at any race. And if you don't know that we're struggling to value life at any rate, look at your news, look at your outside, talk to another human being. You will know we're all struggling to value life at any stage, because we can't agree with that. If we can't agree with that, we're going nowhere. That's why I always start there. Anybody that talks politics to me, I always start there first. Anybody that talks to me about anything, that's the first thing I start with. Are you okay with murdering your own? And then when they start with that, that's why I can't look at any Democratic, first of all, because that's why I can't even approach anything on that until they take abortion off the table. We have to stand up, even if we dismiss crazy talk or refuse to hear evil. Not all can be on a platform, but we can all do something. Yes, you can absolutely do. You don't have to be in the public eye. You can you can share, you can comment, you can. You have no idea the power of one like and one comment in support that helps people get through it. Like, you have no idea the power that you guys actually have if you're not in the line, if you're not in the spotlight of what the people are doing when they're standing up, just by you standing, because it's scary to even stand up in support. It's scary to even like something now. It's scary to, because they'll dox you. They'll, they'll cancel you.
Your family.
Yep. They mess with your family and tell you, alert your family that you're a white supremacist and all that stuff. Yeah, they're evil. That video made me cry. Yeah, that video made me cry, Ellie. I saw that video. It was amazing. Ravelry kicked me off twice, 2009 first, and will continue to speak the truth about them. Absolutely. Well, and honestly, that was the best thing they ever did, too. You know what I mean? Showing their hand and card, that was the best thing they ever did. By doing that, because that allowed them to really, because now whoever is in there now, like, it's just pure evil that they're just hanging out in there. Because I've just heard horror stories further. I guess there were horror stories before, but they're worse now.
Well, now they're eating their own because they don't have anybody else to eat on. So now they're eating their own.
Mm-hmm. That's how. Well, when you play with Satan, that's what happens. That's what Satan does. It's Satan's game. He divides and conquers. So as he divides and his group gets smaller, he'll continue to divide them and conquer them and devour them, and that's how he works. So, that doesn't surprise me that they eat their own, because nobody is safe. All right, hour and a half. Listen, we gotta go. It's 10:30 for me. What is it? 7:30 for you?
Yes.
Did you feed your kids and all? Are you all done? At least with that?
Oh yeah, their dinner was done before I logged on.
Nice. And then he came out as trans and crazy. Yeah, absolutely. That was like 1 week after he came out. See, mental health issues.
That's probably why he did it. Was he got all the people that would fight back and disagree with him doing that. He banned them all from his website so he wouldn't have any pushback.
Crazy. Crazy.
Echo chamber. That's what he made. A big echo chamber.
Yep, that's what he did. Yep, that's exactly what he did. Exactly what he did. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Tabitha, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I had a blast. This is awesome. You guys go follow her, go subscribe to her channel, because if I get booted, you'll see me on her chats. If I can. Tabitha's channel is my backup channel for when politically incorrect knitters gets booted and I get booted. Well, we'll all congregate over at her channel. And we still have Louise's channel too, Adventures with Yarn. We still have to get hers in there too. She'll be our backup too, but I have a feeling she already made one video that outed Ravelry, so she's already on their radar. She already got on their radar. So much fun. Thanks for doing this. Please do it again. Definitely. My schedule's clean. It's Tabitha's. She's the one that runs the busy life. So I love you guys. Oh, love you. Yes, that's a term. Gotta roll. Yes, me too. 9:30 for you. 9:30 for you. It's 10:30 for me. Have a great night, guys. I'm back at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come join me there. We'll be hopefully less political and more knitting. You did some knitting today.
I did a lot of knitting.
You did a lot.
I did.
Well, she looks up and she can read the comments and still knit her ridiculous, like, textured. It's not even like a regular seat stitch, is it? You're like doing cable work and all that stuff, and yet somehow I'm like, if I'm doing cable work, I gotta shut everything off. And John's got to go upstairs. Like I got to clear the first floor if I'm doing lace cable, if I'm doing anything crazy like that.
Oh, no.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Until next time. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.